everybody taking dog tags. Dog, this is awesome, it's Optimus Prime, and your quadrant is talking to you, got that? I was in a mind when I crafted this. The Dungeon Master's raps with a dash of sick. I dash like Sonic Mad, not a pacifist, but pacifist the tracks when I'm rapping, kids. We the last of us, the master race. Take him with a master hand, it's cancerous. I hit him with the master sword, and sure I make a nice sword, but I wonder how 4 guys make a Triforce.
Hey guys, welcome to Trinity Force Podcast. You're listening to episode number 158. My name is Adam Ponophobia Cogswell. I am your host for this lovely evening. So I'm going to start introducing people from my bottom left, as always. So Dom is here.
Hi, how's it going?
Hi Dom, how you doing? Looking good tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
DeClaude is here.
Howdy.
How you doing, DeClaude?
Well, it's another glorious day.
Absolutely. I love it when it comes back around to Mondays because I really am excited to podcast by Monday. Like, I'm just ready to go. And I'm really excited this week because Sean is with us again. Hi, Sean.
Hi, guys. I'm Sean.
So, Sean, tell us more about your promos that you were telling me about it before the podcast.
Yeah, so because of some of these stupid trolls that have been hanging around, I got knocked down to gold too, so...
That sucks. Me too.
I heard,
Nobody likes to hear that.
I heard you were doing with DeClaude. Is that true, DeClaude?
That was one of the stupid trolls.
One of the stupid trolls.
Wait, so is your girlfriend sitting around tonight, Sean?
Yeah, she's over there, actually.
You should grab her for us. And let
Hey,
us sit
come
down
over
and
here,
shit.
Kayla. Come here. Here she is.
Oh, she's looking beautiful.
Aw.
So, guys, if you're listening to the podcast, we definitely had Sean's
Hi,
girlfriend
Kayla.
sit down. Bye, Kayla. Thank you for joining us tonight. Hi, Sean.
Hi, how are you?
All right, good. So, guys, some quick news to run down before we jump into everything. Actually, I'm going to do a lick of salt and a shot of tequila.
Cheers.
Oh, yeah.
And a beer chaser.
Yeah, I didn't feel like doing the chase of lime.
What kind of tequila is that, by the way?
Oh, it's shitty $6 tequila. La Salle tequila.
Class in a glass, baby.
Glass in a glass.
LaSalle.
Sale, yeah, something. Blech.
La Salia.
And I don't have real limes, I have lime juice.
You
LaSalle.
got the grocery store lime juice.
Yeah, ready? Right in the mouth. A
Use
shot
real
of it.
limes like a man.
And table salt.
Well, I
Yeah,
didn't have any
table
of it.
salt.
Do you really want me to pick up some fucking
Yes.
sea
Yeah,
salt?
if you
Yes,
cared about...
but we also wanted you to pick up real limes and real tequila.
It was $6.
We're not terribly surprised that you screwed all of it up.
People are linking my Twitter status about drinking tequila or drinking liquor. That has got so much mileage.
Good.
All right, guys. Quick podcast news before we jump in. And I'm going to make this quick this week. So if you guys have not signed up for the T-Force tournament on May 22nd, please go do so. Go to tinyurl.com/T-Force tournament. Or go to our website at trinityforcepodcast.com and click the link at the top of the page. That starts, again, May 22nd at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. All you have to do is go sign up, be into the TS. There's TS information, that's TeamSpeak information on there. Be in there 15 minutes early. You'll be drafted to a team. And it's bronze versus bronze, silver versus silver, gold versus gold, and plat and diamond versus plat and diamond. So if you are bronze, you're not going to face DeClaude. Even though DeClaude is signed
Gold
up.
this season, though, so...
Well, there you go. It's going to be gold versus gold with DeClaude because they go off your current elo.
Yep.
Oh, baby.
So,
Oh, man. I'm on ranked.
gonna be fun.
So where do I get placed? If I
They would probably. Well, I don't know. Maybe if they know who you are.
Place where you were at last season.
isn't there a
Probably.
website where they can look up your hidden MMR and...
Like OP.
I don't know. I don't even know if I have a hidden MMR
You can
right
you
now.
can only do the hidden
So,
MMR thing if you have games
he's done
played.
ranked.
Yep.
I haven't done any ranked in a while now.
I say put him with the plats and diamonds. He's an
Damn
awesome
right.
support.
Because we have too much shit coming up like this week. But I don't
You
know
were
if we're
gold
talking-
last season, weren't you?
Yeah, but I was a lazy gold last season.
Yeah, he got gold the end of the season with me.
You're even
He's
lazier
flat.
this season. You're not even doing it.
No, I'm on pace with last season. I'm on pace right now.
All right, so guys, yeah, go check that out. tinyurl.com/T-Force tournament. Man, Sean has just got everying this week.
Yeah,
now
what's
he's
going on
showing
with his camera? We got Lady Twitch.
Yeah, we got the T-Force mascot on camera, and
He's our mascot.
Yeah,
I'm
go
getting
sign up. You guys
trolled.
can win RP. You guys can win Tournament Rise. Other than that, guys, donations. If you'd like to donate to the podcast, it helps us out to pay. We have our yearly server fees are coming back up in October. I know it's still 6-7 months away or whatever it may be, but we are putting fees together, or excuse me, putting money together so we can pay that. If you guys would like to help donate to the podcast, you go to trinityforcepodcast.com. There's a donate button there. Otherwise, thanks for Bryce for donating $50 because we really appreciate you there, and that podcast money has helped us quite.
You're our hero, Bryce. Thank you.
Right. One last piece of news before I jump in here, actually, because I want to talk about Extradition and Honey Badger. They are running a T-Force Battle Arena every Tuesday between 7 and 7:30 Eastern Daylight Time. It changes depending. Just join the in-game chat channel T-Force to learn more. They'll post a game name and a game password. You join. This is for bronze to gold only. No plats or diamonds. Sorry, guys. You are too good for what we're trying to give out.
How much tequila have you had already?
Why?
Because you kind of slurred Battle Arena. I thought you said ballerina. I was like, we have a T-Force ballerina.
I heard the same thing.
I'm just talking really quick. Ooh, that was salty.
Oh, okay.
My lip.
It's that iodized.
To answer the question though, it's all
that
iodized.
That
all
Morton's.
of the tequila.
I have not had that. If you can look at how much tequila is in here, there's like nothing. It's 2 shots. So this week's episode is definitely a Cinco de Mayo episode, definitely meaning we're recording it on Cinco de Mayo, the 5th of May, and we have quite a number of drinks in-house, and with that said, I decided to take the liberty of taking, because this is my podcast, quote-unquote, and I'm going to stand on a soapbox tonight, and we're going to have a lot of fun.
You found Hornet's soapbox?
I found it. I dug it out of the closet.
Where was it?
Well, I've been standing on it for weeks. And
Did you clean it up? Did you paint it?
No, I left it the way it was.
I think I was the last
Vintage.
person that had it with the Rengar talk, so I guess I passed it on to him.
That's right. But I have 3 different topics tonight that I want to discuss, and I don't know if they're necessarily topics, but just me talking to you guys about different points in League and with Trinity Force. So first and foremost, if you guys haven't listened to the LCS Rundown, I do encourage every single one of you to check it out.
Yeah, do it. That show, I listened last night, and even without Optimus Tom, it was killer.
It was.
I really enjoyed it.
amusing.
It was a good show last night.
There was a lot of wine and whining, and
There were some.
Mott had actually, I think he took the soapbox from Mott Canarm.
Right. Well, I wanted to talk about this in
He
our
had a
podcast. This episode is going to be kind of like a catch-all. This is what we're going to talk about all our podcasts. But like, when you guys listen to a podcast, I know you guys listen for opinion, and I think it's funny when any of you come at us in email or on Twitter and yell at us for using our opinion, or stating our opinion. And last night on the Rundown, for example, Montnagorum, he was one person who stood on a soapbox and really started talking about his opinion, and he got some flack for it today, not just by one person. There was a couple people that came and said, I don't really appreciate this guy, the way he's talking. And I got to defend my boys. When you're running something like an LCS Rundown, you're running, or any kind of podcast, or you're a public figure, you're going to have an opinion, and that's fine that it's their opinion. And you have to remember that. It doesn't necessarily... his opinion isn't necessarily my opinion or the T-Force brand opinion. I understand
he definitely had the unpopular opinion yesterday.
Right. Well, when you call it TSM, you're gonna...
Yeah, I was about to say, there's so many TSM fanboys that if you dare drag them through the mud,
right,
shit's going down.
But you have to take what he says with a grain of salt, knowing that he is a Red Sox fan and a Patriots fan.
What a monster. What a terrible human being.
And he did mention, a little spoiler for if you haven't watched the episode, he did mention that he likes Curse less than he likes the Yankees as a Red Sox fan. So he really hates Curse.
Wow.
I missed that.
That's pretty bad. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's enjoyable. I suggest you guys watch it. The YouTube was posted on Twitter, and
yeah, and
you
the
can find it on the
MP3 's
website
up tonight, and they'll be up tomorrow. It's up every Tuesday morning. So, other than that, this next point is more league discussion. We'll actually open it up for everybody. I just had to defend my boys in the LCS Rundown real quick. But this is about in-house game attitude and overall league attitude. So, like, over the weekend, I played a couple in-house games with fans. And in the past, I played in-house games with fans. And some of you, and I'm not going to call names. I don't know who it was. But there has been people who have left the game while playing an in-house because they've gotten slaughtered. They might be a bronze playing like a high silver or a gold, and they've gotten slaughtered, so they left the game. And I think that really translates into how you play the game normally. Because if you're rage quitting out of a game that is supposed to be teaching you how to play better, and no one in that game is calling you bad. Like, no one has ever come out and said, like, in all chat, everyone's going to say, you shouldn't have done that. We'll talk about it afterwards. But
it's a friendly game. Come on.
Right. Don't
It's going to be the lowest stress game you'll ever play.
it's like Planet Fitness. No one's judging you. You're just playing. We're having fun. I've fat finger flashed and streamed games and done horrible, horrible things. that Pone has pointed out
I
promptly.
played
as a player.
Zyra in streamed games, you know? What of it?
You know, who cares? It's for fun.
Yeah. I just really want to point out that if you're playing an in-house game or you're playing a game with fans, you're playing with friends in the channel, everybody is here to help you get better. And I think it's really poor on how you play, poor on your character and how you play this game normally. Because if you're going to rage quit an in-house game, I feel like you're going to rage quit in a ranked game.
Yeah, you're probably that guy.
It's a hard realization to, you know, you could be playing well, but if you rage quit, why even play the game at this point?
So look inwardly and go, I got mad at a video game. Maybe I should.
And I don't know. The other thing that gets me is it's like if people rage quit, they've just kind of discounted the possibility that someone is just having a bad game. And we have all been there, including the person who rage quit. It's like you really should not get that bent out of shape over one lost game, because what is it at the end of the day? Like, even if it is a ranked game, unless this is your living, unless your job is to play and win League of Legends, like, a loss is a loss. Who fucking cares? Queue up again and win the next one.
Well, you know, I've seen some people talk, like one person in the chat just said, I've been raged at in Battle Arena and it made me want to quit. For Battle Arena, if you guys ever have a problem in Battle Arena with a certain person that's rage quitting and playing every week or is talking shit, we have a ban list. We have a global ban list for that.
Let us know.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll definitely moderate it and make sure that we want it to be a positive experience. And I know Badger and Asterishan out there paying attention and watching, but I don't think they can see the in-game chat. So
They can't.
Right. It needs to be a positive experience.
Right.
Because that's what it's there for. You shouldn't go in there for fear of getting raged at.
If somebody's being an asshole or just being cancerous in chat or whatever, let us know so we can deal with it, and they won't be able to do it to anybody else
or something.
Right.
I don't know.
That pretty much covered my last point here, is really with the in-game chat attitude and / usage. And all these I'm trying to bring to the broader sense, and that if you're doing this in the in-game chat, what are you like outside of the game? And I think you need to check yourself, because if you're using the in-game chat every day to bitch about my team is losing, I was up 3 kills, my team still lost. We've talked about this in the past. The only thing you can look at is yourself. Like, maybe you're the reason the team is actually losing. Maybe you're not leaving lane when you're 3 kills ahead and helping the team snowball. Maybe you're sitting in top lane and just trying to split push the entire game, and that's why your team is losing. And if you bring that attitude in chat and you bring that into Battle Arena, we're gonna, you know, we're gonna call you out for it, and 2, you're gonna be upset when people do call you out for it.
And
focus on what you can control, not what you can't control. You can't control
that is
other people.
Such a good piece of advice. Yes. Like, you have 10 people.
Only worry about that
in a game, and you of that group of 10, you can control 1. You can only control what, you know, you can only force your will on one person, and that's yourself and everything. Stop trying to dictate how everybody else does things and everything. Try to work together, encourage teamwork, encourage certain objectives and everything, but, like, you can't force your will on the 9 other people in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's so obvious that someone else is the reason that you lost a certain fight, think about what you could have done better to maybe push it more in your favor. And try to do that next time.
Comley was the one who pointed that out to me.
Talking shit only wastes time, and that's time taken away from you playing and actually making a difference for your team.
And it gets you mad, and you're going to go on until you're going to play worse because you're sitting there focusing on this, and you're going to be missing CS, and
I have definitely been there. I did it this weekend. It's not my excuse is I was drunk, but I still shouldn't have played that way. Like, I was playing, and there was this Diamond 5 guy that I was playing with, and he's like, oh, you all suck, this and that, but he's not taking into consideration the entire game and what's happening. You know, bottom lane is getting shit on because our matchup is bad, and you're not snowballing the other lanes, and you're calling us all shit. Why aren't you looking at the big picture of this game? And unfortunately, I got into, like, a yelling match. It was just a normal. It wasn't ranked. It was just, like, a normal blind pick with Little Wrecker End. And yeah, Little Wrecker End's fun.
Little Wrecker End.
But yeah, like, you know, after that game got done, I said, all right, this guy's an asshole. I'll report him because, you know, he called us cunt and faggot and whatever. That's maybe, you know, words that I shouldn't have
all
said,
the mean things.
Right. And so report him, moved on with it, and I didn't rage at the next guy. Next game, I got a level 26 ADC in the game, and she's like, what do I level first on Jinx? How do I play Jinx? And she was absolutely awful at CSing. But I played through it and continued to give her positive reinforcement. By the end of the game, she's like, this was really fun. I had a lot of fun playing this game. And that's all because I would say, good job on landing that E. You did nothing else but land that E in that fight, but good job on landing it. But, you know, you don't say that first part. But good job. You landed that the flame chompers and you caught them there, and everybody else picked up the kills. And that's
Right. Maybe you picked up the slack to get the kill. You say, whew, it's a good thing you landed that E so I could get that kill. You know, they feel good about it. You know, you got that E, you got the Zap, they're slowed, and therefore we got the kill, even though maybe she could have done a lot more, gotten the kill herself, but I like that.
I mean, even just a very polite, nice job, everyone. Just throwing that out there instead of trying to hate on one person on your team for one missed play or something. Just like, nice job, everybody, we did this. Or, you know, if you lose a team fight or something, like, let's just regroup and we'll get them next time. Buckos.
You know what else is annoying is the passive-aggressive toxicity. Like, well, I won my lane.
Oh my god!
Then you don't say anything else.
I've done everything I could.
I'm doing really well. Or ... Just nothing but ... when somebody dies. It's passive aggressive and it's just as toxic as saying you suck.
That is really funny. I hadn't really thought of it like that. But that is funny. I don't do it because I don't use all chat ever, and unless I'm saying nice job or trying to corral the troops to a specific thing, I almost just don't talk in chat at all. But
right. So just when you're thinking, well, I'm not going to be toxic. ... You were toxic.
Well, you could have played
it's
that.
Like giving
better.
them the face. You know, they die, and you're like, you know, same thing.
Is the same, or give a slow blink when something happens.
Hey! Back it up! Get off my dick!
You can slow blink all you want as long as you don't hit the enter key and type anything.
As long as we can't see you.
You're not being toxic. It's your team.
But that was pretty much my soapbox for this week. I realized it wasn't crazy or insane, but I had to point those things out for anybody who's playing. So if you guys are playing in-house games, don't be toxic. If somebody's being toxic, let us know in email. We had some people email us about some toxic behavior that was in chat, and we took care of it recently. You know, just sometimes people just need to realize that they're doing something wrong because they don't know that they're doing it. With that said, I think we're going to move on to listener questions for this Monday podcast, because more than likely Wednesday we'll be talking quite a bit about 4.7. I have a feeling that Braum will be out by then.
Yes, my boy, probably.
You had the Q&A today?
Tomorrow, May 6th.
Okay.
So
my boy, probably.
He should be out either Wednesday or Thursday, I would believe. I'm led to believe based on the Q&A. If Braum is out, we will talk about him Wednesday. If Braum is not out, hopefully there'll be some more 4.7 information. I have a feeling he'll be released at 4.7. But with that said, let's move into some listener questions here. So, Volcanic Techie writes, I really like that name, actually.
Good, because he's got a lot of questions in here.
Does he really?
Does he?
Yeah, he's got like 6 or something.
It's Volcano
1, 2,
Techie,
3.
not
Wow.
Volcanic.
Oh, I don't like Volcano anymore. God.
Volcano Techie, yep.
Oh, change his name. What the hell?
Now he's going to go change his name to Volcanic Techie because you were such a toxic asshole on your own.
He's going to be all self-conscious about it now.
Yeah, Adam, you should have just said nothing.
That's how I feel every week when you're on the podcast.
Ha.
Your face went.
Jax has become flavor of the month again. What can I do to keep him down in lane so he can't snowball out of control? Without barring the obvious answer of banning him. Let's not talk about banning him because we know that's what Sean and Sean and fucking Dominic want to do.
Yep. That's the easy way.
Ban him.
But yeah.
How do you deal with him in lane?
Well, I've seen Sean go 0 and 5 and 0. And then all of a sudden he kicks ass and he comes out 11 and 5.
You can't shut him down because he's fucking Jax. Doesn't matter what you do because once it's 35 minutes into the game,
I will say,
don't
ever
agree with
since
that at
that
all.
game happened, every time I duo with somebody, they're like, yeah, if Jax is free, I'm just picking him for you.
I don't agree with that at all. I do agree that Jax at 35 minutes, no matter what happens,
prolong it.
yeah. I do agree that at 35 minutes or 40 minutes, no matter what happens in the game, Jax becomes a powerhouse. However, if the team is playing properly, Jax can be dealt with. I definitely played Jax the other day into a Renekton lane, and I went even in CS, died once because of a dive. They had a Karthus, so unfortunately the Karthus Renekton combo will shut you down no matter what you do. Yeah, wham. That's not a wham. That's fact of the matter. And I did become a powerhouse 30 minutes in that game, but Karthus at the same time was a powerhouse because it was Karthus. So if you're going to play into a Jax, unfortunately, to shut him down at this point, you need 2 big late game champions in that game to stop him and shut him down. You can't just have, like, you couldn't have a mere Jax in the enemy team versus Jax into a normal team. You have to have those 2 hyper carries to shut Jax down.
When are Jax's weakest points?
1 through
Before 6.
before 6, but also against like champions like Renekton, anybody who has a built-in heal, instant heal, like Renekton, and does quite a bit of damage. Renekton shuts Jax down the entire laning phase. There's nothing Jax can do to stop Renekton.
To make sure you get ahead early so the pain's a little less, or the chance that you could get to the end of the game before he gets too huge, he will always leap strike to harass. So punish him. Punish him in the trade. If he does his little counter-strike swirly, you can't punish him with an auto attack, so you have to use a spell. Just knowing what he can do.
Here's a major piece of advice, and this is mainly against Jax players. People might be playing Jax. This is especially true at low elo, where everybody loves to do the opening like E into the jump to get the stun off combo. That is the perfect time to turn around and fuck Jax up, because once he enters combat without his Counter-Strike being able to block damage, you can win that trade even if he hits you twice, as long as like you're on an equal playing field with him and he's not 6 yet. So early game, if he goes to Counter-Strike and leap at you, and their jungler's not around, don't be afraid to fight him and to
run away
scare him
from
off
the
of you.
Counter-Strike.
Right, you don't want to get hit by the Counter-Strike, but if he's going to use Counter-Strike and not block any damage and then jump on you just to get the stun off, while he's running away, you can easily make up for that trade until he's 6. And then he gets a little bit more leeway.
Just so our listeners are clear, Counter-Strike blocks minion damage, right?
Yes, it blocks minion and auto attack damage.
So the Jax that decides to burn it early, hop in just for the immediate stun, is also taking a shit ton of
minion damage on the way out.
Retaliation.
But
it does not
what I call a classic Victor mistake.
It does not block like Nasus Q, for example. So Nasus is really a good counter into Jax if you
Really?
Yes.
Are you sure? Because I know Trundle's chomp, it blocks his chomp.
Q goes through
it
it.
blocks
His Q. So.
It blocks Parlay, Mystic Shot, and Blade Waltz.
Q is one of the few abilities that goes through the E.
Spear Shot goes through it. I know that.
That's a targeted.
Right.
I will eat my words if somebody else shows me.
How? How are you going to eat your words?
I know Trundle.
I
played Trundle against Jax recently a couple times, and the chomp is eaten. Is negated, just like a normal auto attack. His Q charge, which is the same as Nasus for its mechanic.
Why can't Jax dodge Nasus Q as April 21st, 2012? And I'm guaranteed that E has not been updated since that point.
Well, maybe he's a special case.
That's surprising because
usually on
it
like
lists all
on
these
hit.
other things. I mean, it blocks Mystic Shot and Parlay. I mean,
and chomp.
Those are not.
Yeah.
You know, those
it's
are not
on hit
auto
effects. Q is an on hit. Q is not an auto attack modifier. It's an on hit effect. So wait.
Yeah, it may just be its mechanic. So.
Are you sure that E blocks Mystic Shot?
That's what it says right here. Counter-Strike will dodge spells that can proc on hit effects, including Gangplank's Parlay, Ezreal's Mystic Shot, and Fiora's Blade Waltz, among others. So,
Blade Waltz? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's actually why Jax is really, really good against Fiora.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He shuts Fiora down.
As soon as she Blade Waltz, nothing happens.
Well,
she
you
does her
just
own
gotta hold it
animation.
until he does Counter-Strike you. And meanwhile, you can trade him until he decides to use Counter-Strike to trade off your damage, and then Blade Waltz his ass.
Hashtag Fiora mind games.
Yep.
Well, here's the thing. There's a lot of mind games in League of Legends. Wrecker and I were talking last night because I was playing Leona quite a bit. And I had already knew what he was going to say to me when he had said it. He was talking about W. So a lot of Leonas will press W before they engage. And I mentioned to Wrecker, I said, I forget to press W a lot of the times because I just see the opening and my mind goes E. It doesn't go W-E, My fingers don't piano the keyboard. And he laughed and said, actually, that's a viable strategy because
W telegraphs.
Because W telegraphs. And it's the same thing with Jax.
I never push W before I engage with Leona because
unless you're coming
I do if I know I'm going to hit it. I do if I know I'm going to hit it, or if I'm just if I don't want to go in. If I don't want to go in, but I want to zone them a little bit, I'll hit W and run at them. be like, I'm coming. And then they'll back off a little bit.
Because I would rather get the delayed damage from it so that I can get 2 procs of my passive rather than just, I mean, maybe 3, but realistically just 2 since your AD carry is not likely to
follow up right away.
Well, right. It's hard to get 2 hits of that from Zenith Blade and then the stun.
The idea is to do your damage instantly while they're still stunned up and in your range. You get the W burst, you get your E, you get your Q.
You stay in there longer because you're taking less damage because you have the passive magic and armor resist from her shield.
I get it, but I mean, if you don't get the damage on them, it's probably because they're like Ezreal who could blink away, or they used Flash, and then you still came out ahead.
But yeah, telegraphing. The point of telegraphing, I've noticed that too. I've been like, oh, I'm not going to hit W because I know they're just on the edge of my Zenith Blade, and I want to hit them first. But other times I use the W to fake it out, and I don't want a Zenith in.
Yeah, you press W and walk at them. They are guaranteed to walk away.
And they all
I'll do that.
Maybe that.
I think this, going back to the point, there's a lot of mind games in League of Legends. The same thing goes with Jax in the top lane, Leona in the bottom lane. I don't know, I keep calling her Fiora, but there's a lot of times. Auslander and I had talked a long time ago about faking aggression, like just 2 people running at the enemies, just literally running. No, not even attacking, just running through the creeps and making them think that
they're gonna get ganked or something.
Gonna get ganked, and it works kind of some of the time. Like people will kind of get the idea that like they'll fight you as soon as you run at them, but there's mind games are a big part of League of Legends, and I think it's a reason that the pros, and especially like up in Diamond 2, Diamond 1, besides mechanics, will have a edge on players that are below, because you could run at somebody and cue them, and then when you start playing higher, if you run at somebody, they're going to run away, and you can predict that. So
I mean, like, just backing up to the fake aggression, so to speak.
Yeah.
I mean, moderately skilled players are going to pick up on whether or not you're aggressive in lane. If you suddenly start becoming aggressive, that's a red flag to them that a gank is coming their way. The jungler's near, or the jungler's coming up, and so you're just trying to wear me down. If you've been aggressive the entire lane, then they don't know how to read that unless you suddenly back off. Then
play.
Yeah, I mean, if you back off, then it's because like their jungler's there or something like that.
Right.
You got to know when to ease off the gas, because there just are times when you do and don't have the advantage. But if you've been just a passive player the entire laning phase, and then all of a sudden you get aggressive, that's going to be a red flag to most alert players. Any alert player out there is going to be like, well, okay, something's here. Spider sense is tingling. Got to get the fuck out of this joint.
Right. Well, we'll play safely here. You gotta, and as marksman, it's easy to get into a pattern. Walk over here, auto attack. Walk over here, auto attack. Walk over here, and you can predict those patterns. I've noticed it myself just watching. As Leona, I play her a lot. To get that Zenith in, I'll watch the patterns. I'm like, okay, I'm looking at the minion life. It's getting a little low. He's going to walk here. He's going to stop right there and auto attack, because he's been doing that this entire laning phase, and then I can land my harass.
I try not to let them get into that pattern. I should, but I don't.
Yeah, it's something that just happens.
At playing higher level players, there is less aggression as you get higher, because the game is decided. Like we've talked about before, the game is decided.
It's like it's like calculated aggression is what it is.
Right.
And it's teamwork. You don't go. It's like the army has a. We have a SOP. We don't go into a fight unless we have a 3-to-1 advantage. Same kind of thing when you're in the professional play. When you have your teammates there, that's when they go in and become aggressive, or go all in, so to speak. But you notice the kill scores are a lot lower than the games you guys are playing solo queue, probably, right?
Right.
So
it's funny. I love that these questions bring us into. They bring us to bigger points than just the
initial question.
I was
about to say. So yeah, how do we beat Jax?
Well, here's the rundown.
You ban
him. Mind games and pick Renekton.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the thing I was going to say. And then we got way off track. So, like in a vacuum scenario, you're not considering anything else going on in the game. You're up against Jax. Who are the top counter picks of that?
Renekton is my top counter pick.
Yeah.
Let's name like 4.
Kha'Zix, I would pick Kha'Zix into him.
Olaf is good early against him.
I think I haven't played him in a while, but I think Garen would do okay just because he can Q him when he comes in and hit his W and he doesn't do any damage.
The E still does damage when he counter strikes, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it would do it because it's AoE damage.
Right.
In fact, I've actually seen a couple Garens recently really shut down Jax. I don't know whether the Jaxes that we're playing had no idea how to deal with Garen, and Garen is a huge pub stomper for people who don't know how to play against him.
And he's a good bully.
And I'm curious, how does Darius do against him?
Good early. The problem with Darius.
The problem with Darius is that you have Darius at the end of the game.
Well, it's not that. It's that he pushes lane by accident by using his primary skill, which is his Q. Because a good player is going to sit in the wave and make you push the wave into them.
And he's not nearly as good in an actual team fight.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with Garen. Garen will fall off, whereas Jax will just get more powerful later on. So you're picking him to beat him in lane, but then later in the game...
That's why Renekton and Kha'Zix, I think, are the number 1 and 2 picks into a Jax right now.
Well, Renekton is
you mentioned
safest, period.
You mentioned the Nasus Q earlier. Is he actually a decent counter pick into Jax?
No, I would say no, and the reasoning...
He can be. That's skill play. That's level of play, in my opinion.
The reason I say no is because Jax... The thing with Nasus is, though he's building tanky, he has very, very little kill potential on a Jax, and because
what are you talking about? Nasus kills people by standing by them, and Jax
It's not the same thing early game. It is not the same thing early game at all. And the issue is you want to play a champion that can keep Jax on the back burner and like keep him backpedaling the entire fucking time, because it's going to be a massive farm fest between a Nasus and a Jax. And a Jax that has equal farm to a Nasus is going to shit all over Nasus.
No, but because of Wither. Because I think
that's fine. That is fine. But I'm telling you,
you shat on Nasus, huh?
I've never had a problem playing Jackson and Nasus. Wither can be a great thing, but the issue is...
See here, this is why I think it's a skill matchup. This is why I don't think it's a...
from W.
My skill matchup.
I don't think it's...
If you're saying equal skill of everything, Jax wins.
Yeah.
He's just a better champion.
No, I think equal skill... I don't think there's anybody that wins that lane decisively one-on-one as an equal skill. I think that is all dependent on what jungler they have, and jungler's camping at that point. In a vacuum equal skill, I think they come out even in farm.
And that's fine. The problem is that Nasus isn't going to carry on equal farm the same way Jax
Why not, though? Because of Wither. I disagree because of Wither.
It's ridiculously good.
Yeah, I keep yelling it right now, but all he has to do is Wither Jax, and Jax dies in a team fight.
And that's
because Jax
fine.
cannot do damage. And he can one Q chunks over a quarter of his life if they are equal farm and equal skill.
1 Q is going to chunk... Okay, it is not... You make it seem like he's going to get a 500 damage Q right off to go and
if they're equal farm and equal skill, they're both going to walk into an end game team fight with 300 to 400 stacks.
Okay, with 300 to 400 stacks, it's going to be a 40 minute. It's going to be like 35 to 40 minutes before you see that anyway. The Jax only needs 2 items to be able to kill Nasus. Nasus is not going to kill Jax unless the jungler is there and he withers him. And if Nasus is withering Jax, the AD carry can run rampant and do whatever the fuck he or she wants.
Nasus is not going to make it to the back. If there's a Jax in the game, Nasus is not going to go after the AD carry ever. The AD carry is going to be zoned out based on the team comp that you pick. If you're picking this in a team composition, you're going to pick Nami, you're going to pick Leona, you're going to pick somebody that stops that AD carry from doing damage. And now you have zoned Jax out and potentially put him into a 4v1 because you put one person to stop the back line. As soon as you take out Jax out of a team fight, just like Nasus, I'm not discrediting taking out Nasus. As soon as you take out either of those champions, the team fight goes one way or the other for the other team.
I do not agree with Wither being the make or break for Jax either because of auto attack resets from W.
It's still slowed though.
He's slowed, but he is still going to do damage, a fuckload of damage. I'm just saying Nasus is not going.
Nasus deals a shit 75% of max HP damage just by pressing R and standing by somebody.
I get that, but
that is an insane amount of damage.
That is an insane amount of damage. Jax gets all the fucking free stats from his R, so that damage is getting reduced from basic passive armor and magic resist anyway.
And Nasus is turning around and using Spirit Fire.
Okay. Here.
He doesn't have to stand it. He can
shut the fuck up. Nobody is going to. We're not going to agree. Nobody is going to agree on this point. From Nasus.
I say, Sean.
The first time I had to yell at 158 episodes to tell you guys to shut the fuck up.
I play Nasus, and you 1v1 top lane in a game. Let's do it. I'm calling it out. Put your money where your mouths are, because you're about equal top lane skill, right?
I think that the biggest thing with this is going to be all jungle pressure, and whoever gets shut down from the jungle, like whatever jungler does more in the top lane is going to snowball that out. I still think Jax is a bigger threat to a team unless that Nasus can get a fuckload of kills on that Jax. I'm just saying it.
Both of you. Jax versus Nasus, the big fight.
The problem with this is no one can prove. The problem with this is nobody can prove one way or the other because we're talking such a wide spectrum of what can happen in the game. A jungler can be here, a team fight can happen this way, somebody can teleport here, somebody can do this, yada yada. Like this argument cannot be solved ever.
No, well, the only thing that we could actually do to solve this is just go in like a 1v1 with no jungle pressure at all and just see.
But even then, that's just small sample.
No, that is a small sample.
You would have to do that like 100 times to get.
I don't think either one of them completely decimates the other one.
They don't.
I think both have good late game presence and both can hold their own in the lane if played properly. So, how does this play to our listener Volcano?
We spent.
I hate you, Volcano. I hate you, Volcano. Now,
one question.
I gave you a compliment earlier in this cast, and now I hate you.
By the way, when I first saw the question, because the way Dom paraphrased it, FOTM, I thought "Face of the Mountain Jax." I'm like,
what? Support Jax making a comeback.
That wasn't me paraphrasing. That's
how he typed it. Oh, okay. Face of the Mountain Jax.
Okay, well,
we did spend 26 minutes on that question. Just saying.
I have one beer left. That is how pissed off I got at that question. I was only able to drink. I drank one beer through the entirety of that question.
All right, next question.
I love you guys.
Love you too, man.
Strong Shocker writes. Wait, Strong Shocker actually wrote it here? All right. Well, no, I'm thinking Shin Slammer. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no, he's not gonna write it.
Close.
Same thing.
No, I know him. He's not gonna.
Yeah, right. All right. Strong Shocker writes: with Feral Flare, do you think it's worth running hybrid pen runes on 80 junglers that get Feral Flare? Also, what characteristics would you like for in a jungler when selecting Feral Flare versus any Spirit Golden items?
And he definitely wouldn't write in and ask a jungle question.
No. First, what I want to say is usually penetration for junglers isn't that effective because you don't need to penetrate anything in the jungle.
It also hurts your early clear.
Yeah, it's really
game. So stay away from pen as a jungler if you can.
Oh, you know what? Let's back up a sec. This kind of ties in, like the question that follows it really ties in with Strong Shocker's question.
Go for it, Dom.
Thallium writes in, what runes should I run in the jungle now? The whole set. Marks, Seals, Glyphs, and Quints. And we're going to get there anyway, so let's do a 2-for-1.
Combine the two, yeah.
Yeah, Captain Planet style.
A lot of people are running, like the common jungle thing, at least for AD junglers at the moment, is about 10% attack speed, 5% cooldown reduction. The rest of your red runes are in...
Wait. I just thought of a good phrase, League style. You can kill a Valor and a Nivea with one Malphite. All right, let's go.
Okay, so...
okay.
To give
I had to think about that.
To give what Chira is talking about, my page is pretty much that, except for running Magic Resist, and I should run a little cooldown reduction, is you are running attack damage marks, 9 attack damage marks. You're running 3 attacks damage quints, or 2. 2 would give you 9%. 3 would give you 14.5%.
Wait. You said attack damage.
I meant 14. Attack speed. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, you run. Okay.
Sorry.
No, that needed clarification.
Yeah.
Here, you basically want 10% attack speed, 5% cooldown reduction, and most people are running some points in armor to help the early clear. With their seals. But I run 10% attack speed out of the marks using 2 marks for attack damage. I use 3 attack damage quints. Some people switch that up and use attack damage marks and attack speed quints. Whatever you want to do.
9% attack speed quints, which is 2 quints, and then I run 11 physical damage, which is 9 marks and 1 quint.
Yeah, the big thing we gotta note on to touch Strong Shocker's question is that penetration runes don't affect the creeps in the jungle. That's why people started to trend away. I mean, that's part of the reason why people started trending away from
armor
pen marks in bot lane. It's because with the way like AD became more cost efficient overall and everything, but it used to be a case where you ran AD runes if you wanted a strong early game, and you ran armor pen runes if you wanted the strong late game. But then AD just became overall better, and part of it's because armor pen doesn't affect creeps.
It also helped back in the day when people used to the bot side support and AD carry used to kill double golems early. You'd want that extra AD because you weren't getting any benefit out of using the armor pen on the creeps as well.
Right.
So things just kind of changed by that.
You might think, okay, well, this idea, getting a little bit of mixed pen for the Feral Flare because it keeps scaling late game, it's got to be better. It takes so long to get now. It's so hard to get. You don't want to bank on that, and it's going to cripple your ability to get it even sooner. So you're banking on getting to that late game every time.
A lot of eggs in one basket.
Right.
It's easy to...
And it's not it's high risk, very low reward.
Right.
He did, I mean, I guess I recall he did specifically bring up Shaco in this question, because Shaco's that kind of weird oddball case. But even then, I don't think Hybrid Pen is going to be that good for him.
No, not
because
at all.
You're, like, in that situation, you just want to commit to a specific build path.
Which will be AD no matter what you do.
If you're jungling, it should be AD.
If you're doing that, if you're going for the AP Shaco, like, you still want to just full-on commit there, and you would rather have Magic Pen and ability power.
Right. No, AD Shaco out of the jungle, you want that early damage from AD as well, because you'll hit level 2 well before the enemy will. Because you'll go straight from blue or red to the opposing buff. And then you'll hit level 2, and you'll be level 2 a good 20 seconds before the enemy. And you could technically gank at that point.
And the second part of his question, which says, what characteristics do you look for in a jungler when deciding on Feral Flare or the spirit items? I would say if it's an auto attack heavy character that's going to get a lot of auto attacks or builds off of auto attacks, go Feral Flare. Fiora, for example.
Yes, that is right.
Udyr.
But I also look into what champions can clear quickly, what champions do not. What is my lanes looking like? Do my lanes need help? Can I pick a Feral Flare jungler at this point? As well as, do I have like an... can I clear the jungle quickly as well?
Okay.
Well, he means not in picking a Feral Flare jungler, how you decide who is a Feral Flare jungler.
That's how you pick
when
it.
This item came out, my first thought was, wow, every single Udyr player is just going to celebrate, because this is the perfect Udyr item.
It is.
It's very good.
It's so good for him. It's everything that he wants.
If somebody's heavy auto attack base, and I mean, like, they're just going to scale well against the auto attacks with auto attacks, and they don't really need the extra tankiness. Feral Flare, like, they'll get the extra tankiness from other items or whatever. Feral Flare is really great. I wouldn't build Feral Flare on somebody like Maokai or Cho'Gath or any of the junglers that are more support junglers.
Clearing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Cho actually clears pretty fast, but
he's not auto attack reliant.
Remember when Maokai was a pretty fast clearer?
Well, he was a fast clearer, but that was also when all of the jungle minions had similar health, and you could just use saplings to blow shit up.
Here's another thing. Diana is a very fast clearer. She can clear really quickly, and her auto attack, she gets attack speed innately with her passive, and every third attack does that AoE extra damage. So you'd think Feral Flare would be great on her, and it is. It's awesome. But the spectral rate is better.
Yeah. The only problem I have with Diana jungle is that it is pretty hard to hit that R. Even if you're skilled with it, it's still pretty hard just because it has an odd path that it has to take. There's an extra half a second, 0.25 seconds that it takes.
Wait, for
to
who?
Get there. Diana, the
her
curves, her R curve.
Q.
Or a Q curve, sorry. You have to hit Q first before you R.
Well, yeah, if you want to do 2 Rs.
Right.
Exactly. So ideally, yeah.
Right. That's the only problem that I have with Diana jungle. Not to take it away. Like if you play her and you're good at her, play her.
And it only goes in one direction.
It won't even do the path though if you're right next to it. If you go point blank, it's just a little AOE.
Yeah. Right.
In front
right.
of you, so.
Right.
I thought that was just a general criticism about Diana. I'm like, wait, that's like it's cool that she's got that character.
Oh no. But I'm just comparing her to somebody like
standpoint.
if you want to learn a jungle. I guess if you want to learn an AP jungle, Diana isn't bad. But I would almost tell you to play Xin Zhao over her.
I will
Diana's
say
problem right now is like she doesn't know what she's supposed to be. Should she?
Right. An assassin or a bruiser.
Tank, assassin,
a fighter. What's
Mage,
going on here? And that's Riot's fault, and they've admitted it. But like, because she was a tank assassin, and that's terrible. And
I thought
terrifying.
I thought what you were saying, Pone, was the R. I thought you meant Cho'Gath's R, which is one thing that I hate. Is its rear back? He's like, I'm going to eat you.
He takes a moment,
you know,
and flash.
If they move 2 steps, they're out of it. Oop, didn't happen.
But the thing with like, even though Feral Flare is really great right now, and I think it's awesome in solo queue in particular. The thing is I don't remember who did the math, but somebody did the math, and it still turns out you make more money over the course of the game with any of the spirit items through conservation.
I mean, you do. Money's fine and all, but
the Feral Flare keeps.
Feral Flare is really good.
Damage.
To be honest with you, I have played champions like Xin Zhao, and I have completed Trinity Force before I've completed Feral Flare. Yep. Because I've ganked so much and gotten fed. So you really have to decide what you want to do in the game and when you want to start snowballing.
Okay, but do we want to talk about the change that's on the PvE?
No, let's talk about it Wednesday.
Okay.
Let's wait for Wednesday and see if the patch notes actually come out.
On this,
that one actually has me worried, so all right.
You're not crippling yourself by ganking lanes if you're a Feral Flare jungler. Sure, you're not building it as fast, but you're like Xin Zhao. I had a game the other day where the enemy Xin Zhao ganked constantly from level 2 on, kept jumping lane to lane to lane to lane, and he was kicking butt. He was doing a good job getting in there, disrupting just enough for his lane partners to go in and secure the kill or to force a flash or zone them and get them snowballing. And he didn't get his Feral Flare till like 30 minutes in, but he didn't need it because he had all those kills. So he was buying his items.
It's the same thing with my Trinity Force.
This is the thing that people, and this is another issue in solo queue people are bringing up. People build Feral Flare and then they're just like, I'm going to do nothing but farm all game and you better not fucking lose the lanes, which is really fucking annoying. But beyond that, just wait. Beyond that.
Because we've talked about this 100 times. Let's not bring it back up.
No, that's not even it. That's like, I so want to touch base on that PvE change.
Even if
let's wait.
You're not getting Feral Flare stacks from ganking lanes, you're getting your lanes ahead anyway, so they'll be able to carry without you having the fucking item, and you're still going to get money from doing it. And if you have the items regardless, who the fuck cares about Feral Flare when you have 3 finished items and the enemy only have 1 or 2, you know?
And if they do survive after you're beating, you're going to have Feral Flare.
Right.
So that's a good point here that a lot of people forget. Like, Feral Flare does not really... It's not this game-changing item. It was a game-changing item for a specific set of junglers and everything, but it does not individually decide how a game plays out.
That's extremely correct. Fuck that guy.
Well, we've talked a ton about Feral Flare, but I think we should put it to rest until the changes come out.
Yeah,
it has definitely been nerfed. It is definitely not as powerful as it was before, and there are now ways to play against it more than there were before.
So worried about that next change.
The change, honestly, isn't going to probably be as big as you think. But we'll talk about it Wednesday. We'll talk about it Wednesday. Shut up. Shut up. Velitas, we're going to move on to the next question here with Velitas. Velitas writes in, do you guys feel that Riot's gameplay is getting a little too convoluted for new players? Since the introduction of trinkets, I feel Riot is getting a little too detailed about their changes and is causing the average player to have to learn more than a casual player cares to. Velitas, this is what I have to say to you. No. I do not feel that Riot's changes are becoming too convoluted because I feel these are core mechanics to be able to play the game even at a casual level. Warding, map awareness, timers, matchups are all you need to learn to play those, or learn those mechanics to play the game casually.
If anything, they made it easier because you don't have to worry about it. Do I got to buy a ward now? You have one, so you can ward. it makes it easier for you, I think.
Actually, I do think the game has gotten a little bit convoluted in many respects, but I think that the player base, by and large, like is it's there at this point, and like people are going to quit playing and everything, but they're like it's going to be like very small growth over time at this point because the player base is so huge at this point. They're not going to astronomically grow over the next year because they already have like they've hit a huge player base. Like the game is huge at this point. And it might keep getting bigger, but it's not going to be this gigantic growth that happens.
Here's the problem.
The way they're going about the game now is continuing to keep the existing player base engaged.
Exactly. This is my point. Is going to piggyback off this. Is that unlike what World of Warcraft did, is where they continue to try to bring new players in all the time and make the new players get good at the game and get their legendaries and stuff. Riot says we have our player base. We are making this an esport. Now we need to focus on those aspects of the game. We're not going to gain 10,000 people playing this game in the course of 6 months by anything, but we have to make our player base that we have now happy.
So that word of mouth goes around, and then they'll get their gain.
Right. If you change it like you did with World of Warcraft now actually has less subscribers than Dota 2 does, and Dota 2 is a free to play game at this point. Yes,
it's about managing attrition.
Exactly.
The other thing, so this question sort of prompted me to go and take a look at all of the champions, and I broke it down to, I looked at it in two ways. Whether or not the champion was really straightforward in the way that you were supposed to play him or her or it. And then I also took a look at skill cap and everything. By and large, about 60% or 66% of the champion pool is relatively straightforward. The weird cases are like, Lulu obviously is not a straightforward champion. Karma's really not a straightforward champion. Jarvan is not a straightforward champion. You don't exactly know how you're supposed to build them, what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to go about it. But then there are champions like Draven. Catch the axes, throw the axes. That's pretty much straightforward. That's what you want to do on Draven all the time. And you can just go on and through the list and everything. But for a game with this many champions, for 2/3 of the champion pool to be relatively straightforward for the players, like that's to me pretty impressive. And then the high skill cap champions, or not even high skill cap, the unstraightforward champions like still can be incredibly effective, especially in the right hands. And the players who dedicate the time to learning how to play those champions feel very rewarded for it. So I think there is a good mix of that in the game right now.
Especially since they're going back and reworking their older champions one at a time. I think they need to do it a little bit faster, but that's just as a fan. I'm not looking at the logistics of it because freaking want rework Scion out by now, but a lot of the old champions I think are really cool, but like we've discussed in the past, they were built for Season 1.
I would be interested to see some of the statistics on how many of the older champs are owned by, or what percentage of the player base owns the A, all the champions, and then B, I guess a certain number of the older champions, just to see if Riot could stand to gain financially from giving some of those champions attention. Because that is, of course, going to be the holdup there. Riot has there's fidelity in upgrading your own work and keeping them relevant, but there's not a lot of money to be made there, at least from
unless they come up with cool new skins and a rework.
Sure,
a rework. Yeah. Here's this new champion, and they got a new skin to boot. Go buy it.
Yeah, like
buy this little package.
Magnificent Twisted Fate should be back on the market now because that skin is awesome, and it used to be terrible.
That reminds me, I gotta go buy more RP because that bundle costs more than I thought it was going to.
Yeah, it's expensive, man.
The Magnificent Twisted Fate, isn't that?
It's a legacy.
You can't get it.
No,
right, so it's like now you see it, now you don't.
Why do I need 1,000 more RP to buy this entire fucking bundle? I have 2.2k already.
Nobody cares.
I don't care about Magnificent Twisted Fate. That is what I'm talking about. I have to go spend $10 on this game. I'm gonna go buy it right now. All right, fine.
There you go, Riot.
Here you go, Riot. Here's $10 more. Didn't say don't ever say I didn't give you anything. But the slowest of slow blinks I've ever seen.
He is disappointed.
I don't know.
So, did we answer? We pretty much answered his question.
I
the lattice.
Hope so.
So pretty much we don't think it's that convoluted. We like where Riot's going with it, and it kind of makes things a little bit easier, maybe, if you think about it. And now it's at least clearer what you're supposed to be doing, whereas before it was just, hey, do what you want. And why am I losing? Because you're not doing this.
Right.
So at least you have a trinket telling you what to do.
All right, Alex, you are on. Or Alex, you are up. If we have time, Volcano Techie, you are on deck. So, as a low elo, currently unranked support main, is it possible for me to climb elo when I finally get to ranked as a support? Dom, this is for you, buddy. Support's elo in a game is great. Support role in a game is great for me, but a shutdown bot lane doesn't mean a shutdown support player whose utility is useful elsewhere. Do you have any tips for a climbing support player, or is it better to go as a different lane to climb an elo or climb elo? I butchered that.
Yeah, it's very possible to climb as a support main. There are going to be times where you feel like the game has simply gotten outside of your hands and outside of your control. Because as sort of the we've touched on it in the past, as the information provider for the team, and you have a lot of roles when you're playing support and everything, but providing as much information as possible is a huge part of it. And that doesn't have tangible rewards, I guess. Like you don't notice the reward for your team. You don't get assists for dropping wards. You don't get you don't even feel that good if you prevent a gank, because you don't know if it was the ward or some other thing that really demonstrated that for you. So that's really like where it you feel like you're not contributing. But the reality is you are contributing. Like your marksman is not going to be able to carry unless you are doing your job well. And a shutdown bot lane is a shutdown bot lane. It's not a shutdown marksman. You are still contributing at a very effective level. It depends on the champion that you pick. Certain supports are way scarier late game than others are. For example, nobody wants Leona, a fed Leona late, or well-off Leona in the late game, because you can't kill her and she's just going to round stunning
Leona,
things. Yeah, you can't kill her and she's just going to stay on you.
Leona with items.
But a Sona with items is comparatively
I'd really like
scary
to play support in ranked, because I feel like I have more control over the game. Because I can't jungle well. Like, not over what jungle can do. I'm not a great jungler. Like, I could play Xin Zhao jungle right now because he's super simple and he can carry any game because how simple he is. But I can play support because I have more control over bottom lane than I do as if I'm AD carry. Because the support is the engage or the disengage, while the AD carry's only job is to follow up either of those.
And, I agree with you completely there. The problem is that it's really easy to get partnered with an AD carry that is not on your wavelength.
Sure.
Right.
And so you go in, you're like, oh, this is a good time to go in. I'm going to go in because all of my support sense say, fuck these guys up right now. And your marksmen are like, nope, I'm going to last hit. I'm going to shoot my gun. I'm going to fire that bow.
Farming's more important.
I'm throwing my axes.
But all this CS, need it. And so, that can be a really frustrating side to support play in ranked, but I don't think that should dissuade you. But yeah, you can absolutely climb elo playing nothing but support. I did it.
Yeah. And Rome, if you're not on the same wavelength as your ADC, he's content to farm.
Man.
Roam mid and make something happen real quick, and then go back.
I get so worried about leaving my AD carry alone because that's just an invitation for them to do something dumb.
Yep.
And they're not Sean and Adam, where doing something dumb is probably going to get them a kill or something. It's going to get them.
At least you recognize that.
Yeah, right.
See, well, I play Leona a lot, which is all innie, and if I get a ADC who's not on my wavelength, they're not all innie. They play safe, so I feel safe leaving them alone for a quick gank somewhere else, where maybe the mid lane will want to take advantage of me going in and stunning them up for 3 seconds.
But I still kind of think Sona is probably just the best, backup plan support in solo queue.
Comfort pick.
You have all kinds of sustain in lane and all kinds of passive bonus stats that don't feel any good to use but are really helpful to everybody. And then you still have the press R and tell everybody it's go time ability. Yeah. And that has a lot of value.
Aren't most of the diamonds support, or were they last season?
I know they were in season 2.
Yeah.
Most of the diamonds.
I know they were all supports.
In season 3, it was supports as well.
Mainly
so Tyr often complained about that. He's like, yeah, up here, I never get my role because
I think
everybody wants it.
Role.
I think that the highest rate of challengers are all AD carries, though.
That's funny because it
They
wasn't
always
Wild Turtle or somebody that was complaining. Tabs
Turtle-
maybe was saying that you used to be able to carry as a ADC
That was
and
Tabs.
you can't
Yeah,
anymore.
it was tabs.
Double
Well,
lift tabs have both.
We touched on that
complained
in previous
But
podcasts.
double lift has been
Right.
complaining since season 2.
He always
I mean,
complains.
Double Lift complains.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and his complaining is
whatever.
all in vain.
Turtle's
Fuck!
still.
God damn it!
That's his main, by the way, for those who didn't get the
Yeah,
pun. Get it.
I fucking hate your guts.
Sorry, I didn't want to jinx it, so I went
missed
the other
it.
way.
I didn't hear you. Oh.
Fuck you.
It's
That's
just
what
more
that
puns.
means.
I'm
Listen up,
together.
guys.
Holy
Right? Come on.
shit.
Where the joke
Why
was
did
now.
I give DeClaude Twitter access today? By the way, if you guys are following
was
twitter.com/t.
misfortunate.
Fuck!
Keep going. Your situation looks graves. All right, let's move on. Away from the marksman. We'll go on to various other topics, okay?
Adam is so angry, like he's uncharacteristically angry about it this time. Normally
face
he's just
is
like,
red.
I roll.
You're looking a
and
little
now
ashen
he's
there, Bone.
monitor.
I'm waiting for him to get a severe tone.
Is he going to throw up?
God damn it! Fuck! I'm done!
The shorts.
You all! I'm out of here! You had your goddamn podcast by your fucking self!
All right, so I hope we answered your question, Alex.
Yeah, that was episode 158 of the Trinity
I
Force
swear to
podcast.
God, you... Did that really just happen? Did
Oh, I was on a roll. That was pretty good. Like Ramus. No,
Wait, like
all right,
Ramus? Oh, fuck. God damn it.
I can't stop. All right.
All right, we're done. And that's the end of the podcast. Guys, thanks for listening to episode number 158. I love you all. Peace.
Yep.